Welcome to the scene where the codes intertwine. Developing diaries, tales from the tech line. Through the keyboards where the true sun.
Okay, so get this. AI is designing and playing video games now.
Really?
Yeah, and we're not talking like Tetris or anything. This is Doom.
Wow.
Like the classic demon-slaying Doom from the 90s.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, researchers have developed this neural network thing called Game Gen, and it can actually run a game of Doom.
Like in real time?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's like, what, simulating it as it goes?
Yeah, basically it's like AI learning to be the game engine.
Really? That's wild. I thought AI was just good at mastering games, like chess or Go.
Right, yeah, this is totally different. It's not just playing a game, it's like becoming the game.
Huh?
So you know how game engines are usually like these super detailed rule books, like dictating every single little thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Game Gen just chucks that rule book right out the window and just learns to predict what should happen next.
Oh, wow. So how does that even work?
Well, it's like instead of all those pre-programmed rules,
Yeah.
it learns by watching just like a human player would.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, and it figures out the patterns,
Oh, that's really cool. So they just let it loose on Doom and hope for the best.
Well, they picked Doom for a reason.
Right.
Because it's known for being really fast-paced, and the environments are super complex 3D.
Yeah, definitely. Even those traditional rule-based game engines, that's a challenge.
Right, exactly.
So how did it do? Could it keep up with everything going on?
Surprisingly well, yeah. They showed people these short clips of the AI Doom, and they couldn't tell the difference.
Wow, really?
Yeah, between that and the original game. That's incredible. How do they even go about teaching an AI to simulate something as complex as Doom? Like, do they feed it the entire game's source code or something?
That's the fascinating part. They actually used a two-step process. First, they trained a separate AI, like a totally different one.
Yeah.
And they used this technique called reinforcement learning to teach it to play Doom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like this AI agent just playing the game over and over and over.
So just like a person racking up points and figuring out how to win.
Exactly. And all of that gameplay, all the rocket jumps, all the shotgun blasts, all of that gets recorded.
Okay.
And they use that to train Game Gen.
Oh, so it's like AI teaching AI.
Exactly.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah. So the first AI learns to play Doom, and then the second AI watches all that and learns how to simulate Doom, and it gets even crazier. They use something called a diffusion model to make Game Gen.
Okay. What's the diffusion model?
It's usually used for generating images.
What?
Yeah.
So they used an image generator to simulate Doom? How does that even work?
I know, right? It seems kind of counterintuitive, but it just shows you how adaptable these AI models can be.
I guess so. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, they basically fed it all that gameplay footage from the first AI agent, and it learned to predict, frame by frame, what should happen next visually.
So it's like it's learning the visual language of Doom.
Yeah, exactly. It sees how the game world changes in response to what the first AI is doing and learns to do that itself.
Wow. And it can do that accurately.
Oh yeah, they were able to get a PSNR of 29.4 in their tests. PSNR, it stands for peak signal-to-noise ratio. It basically measures how closely the generated images match the source material.
Okay. And so 29.4 is good.
Yeah, that's like what you'd get with a lossy JPEG. Like the AI-generated Doom looks really, really close to the original.
Wow, that is super impressive. So it's basically playing Doom in HD.
Basically.
Wild.
Yeah.
So how does this autoregressive generation actually work in real time? Like, does the AI have to, pause and think between each frame or something?
That's the really cool part. No, it's constantly building on its own predictions, so it's this seamless stream of gameplay.
Huh, that's amazing.
It's wild.
It really is. But I imagine all that constant predicting must lead to some interesting challenges, right?
So before the break, we were talking about how this Game Gen AI is basically predicting its way through Doom in real time, which I imagine is no easy task. Are there any limitations to that?
Yeah, so the paper mentions some interesting stuff about Game and Gen's memory.
Oh no, does it forget where it put its weapons?
No, it's not quite like that.
Okay, good, because I was getting worried there for a sec.
It's more about how much of the game's history it can actually hold in its mind at once.
Okay, so how much are we talking here?
Well, it turns out not that much. It can only really remember about 3 seconds worth of gameplay.
3 seconds? That's like nothing in Doom. How can it even play effectively with such a short attention span?
That's what I thought too, but somehow, even with this limited memory, it manages to keep up.
So how does it do that?
Basically, it compensates by getting incredibly good at spotting those patterns and shortcuts within those 3-second snippets.
So instead of remembering the whole map, it analyzes those small chunks and finds any advantage it can.
Exactly. It's kind of like, imagine a speedrunner, right?
Okay.
They've memorized the optimal path, the enemy spawns, all that, but they don't remember every single detail.
Just the key stuff to navigate quickly.
Exactly.
That's amazing. But is it really playing Doom the way it was meant to be played then?
That's a great question.
Or is it coming up with its own strategies?
That's what makes this research so interesting, because it's not just copying the original code,
It's forming its own understanding.
Yeah. Even if it's a limited one.
It's like it's developing its own play style.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, what else could we learn from it?
Right, like could its strategies teach us something new about Doom? Even something human players haven't found? That's mind-blowing. Okay, so we've talked about this AI learning and playing Doom, even with a limited memory. But what does this mean for the future of gaming?
That's where it gets exciting, I think.
How so?
Well, imagine games that aren't just about these pre-scripted stories.
Okay.
They could be more about these ever-changing worlds, all shaped by AI.
You mean like choose your own adventure, but like on steroids?
Exactly. Games that change as you play, based on your choices.
You could play 1,000 times and never get the same experience.
Exactly.
That would really shake things up, especially for those big open-world games.
Definitely. But it goes beyond that, too, I think.
Really? How so?
What about entirely new games designed by AI from scratch?
Hold on, are you saying we could tell an AI, make me a cyberpunk detective game, and it would just happen?
Well, in theory, yes. We're not quite there yet, of course.
Right.
But this is a massive step towards that.
So instead of game designers spending hours on every little detail,
They could focus on the bigger picture.
the overall vision.
Exactly. And let the AI do the hard work.
That sounds pretty good to me.
It would free them to be more creative, to experiment more,
Yeah, I see what you mean.
push the boundaries of what games can be.
That's super exciting. But will game designers become obsolete then?
That comes up a lot, but I see it more as an evolution.
Okay.
They're still needed, just like photographers are still around, even with AI image generators.
They provide that creative spark.
Exactly. It's about giving them new tools, not replacing them.
Collaboration, not competition.
Exactly.
So designers could work with these AIs to quickly test ideas.
Yes. And generate variations on those ideas.
Wow, that would change things.
It would change everything.
And it's not just about making new games, right?
Right. Imagine using this for testing.
Instead of play testers.
You could simulate thousands of hours of gameplay with different player styles
That would help find bugs so much faster.
and make games more balanced.
Right. I see that.
The possibilities are huge.
We could be looking at a whole new era of games.
And this is just the start.
It's like we're on the verge of something massive.
We are.
But like any technology this powerful. So we're back and man, there's a lot to unpack here.
Definitely.
I mean, we've been talking about all this cool stuff game men can do.
Right.
But like any new tech, there's always that question.
Of what if.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what if this changes how games are made forever?
Exactly.
Will we even have those super detailed handcrafted games anymore?
It makes you think, will it be AI or humans designing the games of the future?
Or maybe both, like some kind of partnership.
That's an interesting thought. A human-AI game design team.
Right. What would a game even look like if an AI designed the whole thing?
It's a tough question. I don't think anyone really knows yet,
It'll be fascinating to see how it all plays out.
for sure.
Well, on that note, we're out of time for today's Deep Dive.
This was fun. Always interesting to see where AI goes next.
You said it. And thank you for listening. We couldn't do it without you.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep playing those games, and who knows, maybe AI will be making your next favorite.
You never know.
Coast King Saint Flight, developer diaries, shine bright tonight. Tech tales, where the flows in every bite.